Hey guys, welcome back. Welcome back. My name is John Megacycle here doing another episode of Deadlock 2 Shrine Wars. This has been a 4-player free-for-all Let's Play episode. We've been doing quite well. Trying to keep it light, brief on the core mechanics of the game, just want to keep on playing. For anyone that's familiar with this game, you're going to fit right along with how quick we're going. I'm not trying to really sell the game or teach someone how to play, I'm just playing it for fun here, so I'm kind of keeping the tutorial light on the game mechanics, but I have been talking about core mechanics on how to become a better strategist, things to take care of, things to take into consideration, resource management, micromanagement, military tactics, those are the kinds of things I'm trying to work on. So, without further ado, we're just going to jump right in. We're starting at turn 100. We did this is episode 4, I believe. We did a 0 to 50, 50 to 75, 75 to 100, so that's 3, and this is episode 4. So without further ado, we're just going to go ahead and give you a brief look at what we got for bases, defenses, everything, military, and we're going to take a look at our enemies, and we're just going to resume where we were. So, I believe we just received some new tech, so we're upgrading our mantle drills into the subspace magnets, I believe is what they're called. Subspace magnet, yep, we just got subspace scanner, that's what we needed. So we got our farming, metal harvesting, processing facilities here. We've got our power and tech here. We've got our ancillary farming and Air Force military here. We just took over this one starting from scratch. And then we also have 3 satellite water bases, naval bases. Just trying to keep our economy high. We do have a full army here. We have 7 of these bombers that I do enjoy. We've got a mixture of land units, some of these laser cannons and fusion cannons. And then we've also just done a little bit of grunt work, working down some of these guys. We took out the Mog, and we're working on the Sith and the Uvamalsk. So what we're going to do is we're going to continue our attacks slowly and surely here. We're going to just keep pushing forward a little bit. What we're actually going to do is we're going to get a colony moved up here. I want a defensive fortification here and get that started immediately, which is going to save a lot of airtime for our planes. Airtime for the planes. I want to make sure that they're close to their fueling stations, so we're going to do that pretty quick. Let's see here, 2 turns. Let's get that maxed out. Let's max out as much of this stuff as possible. 8 turns is absolutely unacceptable. And what do we have here? 7 turns? We're not gonna... 7 turns is ridiculous. There we go, 2 turns. I like that better. Move a guy up there. Let's take a look at what we left this at. Well, we just built our museum, and we don't have any additional taxation here, so that's fine. So we're getting a nice starter there, and let's move forward a little bit here. Let's see here, 1 laser turret, bunch of infantry, no big deal, just the normal inhabitants. Oh, fusion. Oh, and a mantle drill. There we go. Looks like they're actually starting to pick up. It's the Sith that we're really worried about here. So what I really want to do is I want to cap off the Uvamalsk here, but I want to leave them plenty alive. That's a good military they got there. I want to leave that where that is, and I want to work down these guys and seal them off. Since we've already got the water front taken care of here, we don't want to push them too hard, because we don't want them to push back, but we want to give them enough of a reason to stay where they're at. So, let's take a look here. How many free civilians do we have here? 5, and 3, and 2. Okay, so that's 10 there. So we're just going to move the whole 4 we can move here, and immediately we're going to start boxing them in. We're going to get that going on, that going on. Good start so far. And let's see what an attack does. Not a problem. Not a problem at all. That was pretty nice.
Dwell on the words.
Yeah, get out of here. We're going to retreat these guys, make sure they get plenty repaired. We want to keep our military as high up as possible. And I'm not moving them back to Mog Landing. I'm moving them way back because I don't believe they'll be able to get here fast enough. Maybe if they attack with all 24, but I'm not too worried about that. So we're going to do the same thing we've been doing. Delete the whole thing. Move all the resources over. good. Now, getting this thing shaped up here. Another 2 houses. And then we're going to get our culture center. There it is. Let's see, how far are we here? Let's get one more house. Actually, this house being maxed out is going to be all we need. So we're not going to worry about any more upgrades. Let's just make sure, yep, 1 turn. And let's maximize on food. Not too worried about lumber anymore. Let's get 1 more farm here. Doesn't look all that great for terrain, but that's okay. There looks good. If we can get some power, that would be great. 9s, 10s, man, that's terrible. But I'm not going to cry all that hard about it. These are resources we're definitely going to use and we're definitely going to need. Especially if we keep expanding at the rate we are. Now, we built a factory somewhere and it's using up... There it is. I just want trade now. Now we're low on money. We're not low on buildable materials. We're low on cash. So, we do have another factory somewhere, I'm very sure. Yeah, I'm not taking my own advice. Gotta keep these things shifted over to trade instead of build units. Yeah, that's going to be even good enough to build some of the higher level units, so I'm pretty fine with that. And we're going to have plenty of metal producing the very second our mines are done. So good. And this is standard taxation, so we're good there. Perfect. Skip a turn.
Please take note of this, Commander.
I don't think any of our guys were damaged. Normally with the hospital here would say that they've been healed, so we're going to move them back up to the front line. Want to make sure that we keep a good threat zone, and it looks like we took out their power base, which is good. So what we're going to do is we're going to move over to Flower Bog, we're going to take that out, and then we're going to move back to Windy Mesa, bring them back, and then we've got these whole guys sealed in by a 2x2, and I'm very sure they've signed an alliance at this point. No alliance. Fine by me. So, in the meantime, the Air Force is something that I really cherish in a lot of the strategy games I play. This one is no exception to that rule. The AI, I don't believe, spends a whole lot of time considering an air assault. I don't really know why. It's just the way it's written, but this is just one of those things that I really enjoy using to my full capacity. We're going to want a transport. With any strategy game, the Command & Conquers, I really enjoy using a mighty Air Force. It goes in, it deals a bunch of damage, it comes back. Hopefully you can use it again if the enemy didn't blow it all to crap, which is good. And that's just, that's just one of the things, and it's not so much I like the hit-run tactics, but it's doing a lot of damage in a very small amount of time. Get in, get out, we're done. And now that we have metal replication, upgrade all of these, and this is why we needed more power. This is why I kept continuously building more power plants. So we're going to upgrade that, and we've limited it to only go back to iron and steel. So I want one factory to iron and steel, and I want everyone else back to trade. So we're going to do this, and this. Very good. We don't have to lock the build units because there's nothing to build. The workers won't default back, so I'm not too worried about that. Okay, and we're going to do food one more time. That's a little poor, but we're going to be getting food replication pretty soon, so that's not going to be a problem. Good in the hood. And yep, that's all going to turn into replication stations. So, just so we know what we're up against here. When we had our factories, they only required 2 energy a turn. The automated factories are going to require 5. Replication stations are going to require 25. Now, what that really means is we're upgrading, what, 3? So, what's 20 times 3? 60? So we're going to just cut 60 energy right out of our profits immediately. So this is why I keep building more power plants. Even though we're not producing a lot, we still need to keep producing. We still need to be expecting a greater demand on the power grid. Because if we don't, we're going to be taking out of our supply. And if we take too much out of our supply, if we get one colony taken out of ours, we could be screwed pretty quick. we could be at a very heavy disadvantage if we don't have enough energy to back ourselves up, and that's not good at all. So we're going to go ahead and build a settlement. Now we just have that taken care of, and we're just going to disband that transport. We don't need a transport. We're not going to attack via the sea. This is just a buffer, really, and this is going to be our new resource base. So I'm very fine with that. So let's see, back to trees, trees, trees. I wouldn't mind more factories here, but actually what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and build a military training facility here. What that allows you to do is for any military units that are sitting there, they're going to be able to gain extra experience just by sitting there, no problem. And what we'll also do is we'll complement this with a hospital. So when we get a few more people here, let's see, what can we pull out of here? 8. Yeah, there's a reason why I've left those workers idle, so that way I can keep doing big pulls like that. So that way, when we're done here, when we leave any military unit here, they're going to be back to ship shape. And then on top of that, they're going to be trained, which is good. And then what we're also going to do is we're going to build another airport here. Yeah, we can totally afford a military airbase. Very good. This base is shaping up real nice. Hopefully it'll stand up on its own if it ever would have to. All it would really need is metal production for it to really fall under that category. We're going to pull one guy out of here because the culture is far more important. A lot of pissed off people is not going to help me win the game here. So we have 2. Let's do the 2. And I think we can do 1 out of there and 2 out of there. So far, so awesome. And let's get some of this stuff upgraded. And of course, overcrowding. Take care of that real quick. And time to go on the attack. One of the hardest things you can do to your economy is have a bunch of militaries sitting around. And by sitting around, I really mean not attacking, not training, not healing, not doing anything, because you have to pay upkeep. The units aren't free once you build them. You still have to pay and make sure that the troops are maintained, the weapons are up to spec, the tanks are ready to go, the infantry are fed and ready to fight. That costs money in this game. In addition to the food, you also pay for them in food. So it's very important that if you're not actively attacking, if you build up way too much stuff, you're going to incur an insane cost. So it's important to keep moving. So
As the sun shines.
I didn't see the fight. Well, I won, obviously, but let's just for giggles. No problem. Look at that. Not a casualty. Probably took minimal damage. But what we are going to do is we're going to continue the assault. We're going to sell everything there like we have done. We're going to move it all off. That way, if they take that over again, they're not sitting on a bunch of resources. And when we attack this, we're going to get some of their antimatter and some of their tritium. I believe this is tritium. Yeah, I can pronounce that one right, but I can't spell endurium right, or pronounce it, or whatever. This is going to pull a lot of their resources. Endurium, or tritium, is one of the highest percentages of the metal. So I believe one piece of tritium, there we go. One piece of tritium acts as like 20 pieces of iron or something, so it really pays off. So iron turns into steel, and then endurium turns into tritium. So that's how that works. But of course, the higher end metals take longer to pull down, but of course it's worth it in the conversion process. So that all been said, let's make sure we get a few more of that queued up, and let's see what happens here. Now, just to give you an idea of how poor off this world is energy-wise, did you notice how many power plants were in there? I counted a bunch. And you certainly shouldn't need that many to get started, but I mean, that's just the way this map works. So what we're going to do is we're going to be smart this time. We're going to destroy all the resources here, or all the buildings. And that's going to put a nice bit of change in our pocket and a good amount of resources here. We're going to retreat the planes back to, where were we? Bog Landing, I believe is... Nope, trees, trees, trees. That's right. Okay. So our planes will be getting better experience points while they're sitting and healing, which is great. And let's get a few more guys here. Trade. Oops, hey, I wasn't done. Trade and training. Then what we're going to want is another factory. Was this 40 electronic components? I don't see why not. And let's get 2 of them here. We'll use these to maximize our trade. Yep, that's converting to steel. Actually, we could use another one converting to steel. We're getting to some higher end units here. And we could certainly use the extra resources to have at our disposal. And we certainly have more than enough of the iron to convert it. So we're doing pretty good on an economic standpoint. We're still making a solid profit, which is important. It's going to allow us to keep building stuff. And I will get to Low Prairie in a minute. I'm not all too worried about it at the moment. That was just a, hey, it'd be really cool kind of a settlement. So let's get a couple of these guys fired up. That's still upgrading, so good. And what do we have here? 10 now? Let's go down here. Let's cap that out. So let's see. How far is that? 4 turns, 2 turns, 2 turns, 1 turn. There we go. 1 turn there. Very good. So yeah, this is going to be another farm base. Food is one of the worst things you can run out of because people will die. It's not so bad with power. Yeah, your defenses and your facilities slow down, but you don't lose all your people. That's one of the hardest things. So now we control everything in between here and there. Let's see how much it costs us to ship these resources. 2,599, nothing. Because considering it's friendly territory, it's not neutral territory. Across enemy territory, I don't even think you can transfer resources. So that's a nice tactic if you ever wanted to cut someone off completely. That's not a bad plan. Okay, so we got that going on. We're going to churn out more military units the very second those, what are these, replication stations? Yeah, replication stations are finished. And then until then, these guys are just going to level up like crazy. And you'll notice that they're leveling up because they should have little, yeah, they have these little triangles. They might have asterisks of certain colors. They might have 2 asterisks. It all depends on whatever, but how much experience they've got. But that's how the rank is. So does it say rank veteran, green, so he doesn't have any training. And all these guys are probably green as well. Yep, health is low, so they'll be recharging. So good stuff. So we're going to leave that the way it is for a couple of turns. And we're going to keep that building. Things are shaping up nice. Things are shaping up real nice. So we're going to make sure we're not idle, of course. Let's get that done. Another housing complex. Thank you, thank you. Ooh, they were sitting on a power gold mine. Okay, antimatter deflectors, very good. So now we're going to move in, as I've said before, we're going to go cut these guys off completely. We're going to wait. Let the tanks get there as well. We need tanks to actually capture the territory. If you just send planes, just blow it all up. So you can't sell any of the buildings because you didn't actually capture the land. So far, so good. And this is definitely food all the way. And I'm not going to go too overhaulish on the upgrades here. I think we'll be able to finish this up in the next 15 turns. Pause it there. Tanks have arrived. Planes have arrived. And let's see. 1 more turn and we'll start churning out military down there. And this one is also shifting that way. 1 more house. And where is it? Did I just pass it? Culture Center. You get everyone working on that. We have any power here? Ugh, yuck. It's important to keep all these colonies as self-sufficient as possible, but that just stinks. We're not going to do that. There'll be enough of a power draw from these 3 to help in, so I'm pretty fine with that. Let's see here. You can actually change this, so you can look at a colony by colony perspective on what the draw is. So you can see these 3 naval colonies are producing quite much for the rest of the nation. But then of course you can see where some of your bigger drawbacks are when it comes to power and food and stuff like that. That's more important when transport costs are more expensive, but we're the humans, so it's a lot cheaper for us. Whew.
Let your mind consume this.
Brains can't eat things. Stupid Sith. Well, maybe books. We're gonna leave that there. It's not worth the transport costs. I don't mind. Now this might be a bit more expensive time-wise to attack and bring them back and attack and bring them back. But until I got these factories online, I didn't have a lot of land troops. I couldn't just keep pushing. And the problem is, you've got a lot of good veteran units. You don't want to just lose them. And you're going to lose a veteran unit that has terrible health to a green unit that has full health and no experience. Just look at that. We got 4 more. We're going to build... let's see. That should do it. Let's do 2 more. Now we're ramping up really heavy on the military. We're going to hit a hard deficit. We're already at a deficit right now. So actually, let's think ahead a little bit here. We're going to switch gears over to trade. Oh, get out of there. Now where are we at? We're just above sinking. So that's fine. I'm okay with that. And that's a good turn. Now what we're going to do is we're going to attack straight to Lumber Hills. Now you notice, look at that. Their population is slowly dying off. No one's working. I think we took out their farming facilities. The Sith are out of power. These guys are going to eventually choke themselves out, which is going to be perfect. So what we're going to do is we're going to move with the attack. We have a heavy Air Force. I think we could just finish this off right here. Done deal.
Here is a statement from the Grand Hortus.
Marauding spoiler. Well, thank you. Let's delete everything in Lumber Hills. That's worthwhile. That's worthwhile. That's worthwhile. And the only reason why I say worthwhile is I don't want them to have it. That's what makes a resource worth it to me, is because I don't want them to have it. Especially considering this map is so power hungry. Yeah. We're going to do something I don't normally do. We're going to build a city center. Since the terms of victory don't require a city center, there's almost no point, but I like the way they look. And upgrade. One of the things I've always learned when playing any kind of strategy game, real-time or turn-based, is always play as if you're not going to win. Now let me explain that. We're gonna win. This is pretty cut dry here. We have a massive military. We're very technologically stable. We're very good off. But we're gonna keep playing as if we're gonna lose our whole army and we're not gonna succeed. So one thing I do like to do is go through and make sure that upgrades are done. We're not becoming lazy. And like I said, same thing for any game. If you play Command & Conquer and you don't expand your economy, you don't build more refineries, you don't construct more harvesters, or in Command & Conquer Generals, if you don't build more credit production facilities and you just sit on it, if you think you're going to win and the enemy has a secondary base or more resources sitting around, you're going to get your butt kicked because they're planning ahead, they're actively moving. If we just sit here and not do anything, then, you know, that kind of leaves us open. Even though we're going to win, and we're certain of it, it's still important to make sure that we keep and we maintain and we just keep moving forward. There's nothing to lose in doing it. We're going to spend 5 turns here at a heavy deficit. Was it 3 turns? 3 turns at a very heavy food deficit, but I don't have a problem with that because after that, food's not going to be an issue, and we're also going to free up a bunch of workers. So that having been said, we're going to take out the Sith here, and then move right over to the Uva Mosque, and that might be it. So let's take a look here. Hey, they actually had a flak defender that time.
Read, or else.
Oh,
Comrade, a
so
message
great.
is here for you.
I'm now at war with you? I've been kicking your ass for the last 20
Here is
turns.
something.
Get out of here. I believe you can shut that off, but I do like to get the little, oh, you think you're so smart, do ya? Yes, I do. They wouldn't even be able to use these resources even if they captured it, so I'm not too worried. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the planes on a way back, because they do have a limited amount of fuel. And I don't want to lose them all. That would stink. That would stink a lot. Good. Couple of farms I neglected to upkeep. What are we at here? 14 workers we don't need. Perfect. Let's get this upgrading. Upgrading. Upgrade. 5 and 6. Very good. And this is just producing, right? Good. I don't want you sitting in an endless upgrade loop. And let's take that one. No one messes with my bombers.
Here's a...
Get out of here, Sith. And we'll delete that. We'll spend 1 or 2 turns. Can we make it to trees? Yes, we can. So now we've done a bunch of attacking. We're still sitting at a very heavy troop upkeep. Those planes are very expensive, but we do need more land units. I can wait 2 turns. Let's do 2 turns here. Let's speed this up. Let's wait 3 turns. I'm getting greedy. But then one final sweep and I think we're done here. So let's click over, and now all of our upgrades are done. Now before we needed 6 workers, now we needed 4, freed up a ton of workforce, which is great. Right now I should be building dozens of new structures, optimizing them and using those guys to full potential. We're very close. We're 1 turn away from victory. Even though, yes, I said keep planning ahead, these guys are done. They're starved, power and food. I'm sure I can prove that here. There's no food here. These guys are toast. So we're going to go ahead and finish them off.
Here is a statement from the Grand Hortus.
And we'll wait 1 more turn. And now we'll switch these back to trade, because I'm sure we are starved for cash. Or at least our ins and outs are. Oh yeah. Yeah, we're losing 200 credits a turn here. That's not great. But let's get in as far as we can.
Comrade, a message is here for you.
I've been at war with you guys ever since we started here, so here's what I want. I want to do this in 1 attack. So, how does this work? There we go. 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 to there. What's even in here? Some missiles. I think those are shockwave carriers. And all my planes. What's here? Infantry. Okay, let's see what happens.
The Uva Mosque are leaving.
Aw, I wanted to see the battle before you told me that. Well, let's watch them anyway. Here's the Sith. Again, 2 torpedo bases, no flak cannons to defend against the air. And let's take a look at this guy. Oh, they had nothing. They had nothing. That's it.
The Uva Mosque are leaving.
And let's hear the Sith one.
The Sith are defeated, Commander.
Sweet.
These kind of things just don't happen in every colony.
No, otherwise it'd be stupid if everyone won. Oh my gosh, that video was terrible, but I still like it. Alright guys, thanks a bunch for watching. That's going to conclude this series, at least that run of the Let's Play Deadlock 2 Shrine Wars. If you guys want to see me go through the campaign or play another skirmish like that, feel free to let me know if you got any input, tips, whatever. If you just like seeing this old game kind of have a little bit of life kick back into it, feel free to leave me a comment, and I hope to catch you later. See ya.